Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to the program. My name is Samira Galoro. Tension has gripped a Liki Islam in Nanyuki after police officers blocked protesters from entering Nanyuki town. The demonstrators are demanding justice for Julia Njoki, who was arrested during Sabasaba protests and allegedly tortured by police officers while in custody. Protesters blocked the main road into Nanyuki town, lighting fires and erecting barricades demanding the arrest of the police officer who allegedly hit Njoki so that justice can be served. The 24-year-old was allegedly tortured while in custody after failing to pay a 50,000 shillings bond. According to her family, Njoki was heading home on the fateful evening of the July 7 protest when she was rounded up with other protesters and taken to Nanyuki police station where she spent the night. She was later arraigned in Nanyuki law courts to answer to charges of malicious damage and was held at Nanyuki Women's Prison Remand. She was later taken to hospital after developing complications and succumbed while receiving treatment. Former Interior Cabinet Secretary Fred Matiang'i has alleged that some of the chaos and violent protests witnessed across Kenya are being orchestrated by individuals within the government, even as both the state and opposition continue to trade blame over who is responsible for the unrest. Matiang'i dismissed the government's claims of ignorance, arguing that security agencies have access to intelligence and cannot credibly claim not to know who is behind the violence. He urged the government to stop trading blame with the position of who is responsible for the unrest, warning that both sides are letting down Kenyans. His remarks follow weeks of violent demonstrations during which both government allied and opposition leaders have accused each other of hiring goons to infiltrate and disrupt the protest. At the same time, Matiang'i dismissed ODM leader Raila Odinga's call for a national dialogue, warning that the proposed forum risks being meaningless unless it genuinely addresses the concerns of Kenya's youth.
Hakuna mtu binafsi ambaye ana uwezo kuliko uwezo wa serikali. Serikali inaweza jua saa hii nikitoa pesa kwa akaunti moja nipeleke kwa akaunti hii niende kulipa fulani wa fulani. Serikali ina financial reporting center, iko na central bank monitoring and inspection unit, wanaweza kujua ni nani ametoa pesa. Kama ukisema Kituru, wewe ndio umelipa watu. Sasa serikali ituambie, wewe pesa yako ndio hii, wewe ndio umelipa hawa watu, wewe ni kiongozi wa upinzani, hawa watu umewalipa ni fulani wa fulani wa kukamata.
Also, Justice Chacha Mwita has declined to issue interim orders barring Deputy Inspector General of Police Eliud Lagat from resuming office amid an ongoing legal challenge filed by activist Eliud Matindi. The High Court judge instead directed Lagat to file his official response to the suit by July 23rd, allowing the case to proceed through proper legal channels. The application filed by Matindi, which came up for an inter-parties hearing today, July 14, 2025, had sought, among other players, to prohibit Lagat from carrying out any functions as the Deputy Inspector General of Police. When the matter came up for hearing before Justice Mwita, the applicant sought orders to stop the Deputy Inspector General from resuming office today, but Justice Mwita declined and directed that all parties file responses within 7 days and appear before him for directions on July 23rd. Matindi had moved to court seeking to block Lagat's return to office, citing concerns that have yet to be detailed publicly. The Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission (IEBC) has urged Kenyans to ignore what it terms baseless and dangerous claims of election rigging, warning that such utterances only undermine public trust in the electoral process. The Commission warned that such remarks, especially when made outside an official election period, are reckless and misleading and risk causing unnecessary public anxiety. The Commission, now under the leadership of Erastus Edung Ethekon, clarified that no elections have been declared or gazetted and emphasized that the country is not currently in a campaign period. It stressed that there is no legal or constitutional basis for election-related propaganda or politically charged rhetoric at this time. although the IBC has the authority to establish the Electoral Code of Conduct Enforcement Committee under Article 84 of the Constitution and Section 110 of the Elections Act. It explained that the committee's mandate applies only during a formal election period.
This is 95.0 Iqra News.
Now, the family of Wajir Hudma Center boss and Assistant County Commissioner Hussein Abdirrahman Mohammed has filed an urgent habeas corpus application in court seeking state accountability over his mysterious disappearance. Hussein was last seen on Tuesday, July 8, during an official event graced by the Cabinet Secretary for Public Service, Geoffrey Ruko. Photos submitted in court show him seated among senior government officials, marking his final public appearance. Hours later, it is alleged that he vanished without a trace. Desperate and frustrated, his family, through lawyer Dunstan Omari, has petitioned the High Court to compel the police and other state agencies to produce Hussein in court, dead or alive, or at the very least disclose his whereabouts. A missing person report was filed at Sojir police station in Wajir, but more than 5 days later, no progress has been made and the family fears the worst.
On to the international news.
Now, the body of Nigeria's former President Muhammadu Buhari, who died aged 82 in a London clinic, is being flown home to be buried in his town in Katsina State. Katsina State Governor Diko Rada, who is in the British capital with Buhari's family, said he will be buried later today in Daura town, 50 miles, 80 kilometers from Katsina City. Nigeria's Vice President Kashim Shettima is also in London and will accompany Buhari's remains back to Nigeria. Tributes have continued to pour in, for the late Army General was one of the only two people to have led Nigeria twice, both as military and civilian president in its post-independence history. Former military ruler General Ibrahim Babangida, overthrown by Buhari in a 1985 coup, also showered praises on the octogenarian. Now you're up to date at 9 minutes past the hour. My name is Samira Galoro. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
For more news updates, get us online at www.iqrafm.com or www.iqrafmwebradiosite.com. We have all the latest. Stay tuned right here on Iqra FM 95.0, the station